Hey guys, welcome to our review of Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. May the 4th be, may the corporate day of celebration Star Wars be with you. This is the 6th, actually, not the 4th, but hey, we're busy. We got a lot of stuff to do. I was just planning, when I saw this on the way, I was like, oh, cool, Ventress and Cad Bane. I'm in. I want to know what's going on with Ventress. So I pledged to check it out. And we actually really enjoyed the original one, Tales of the Jedi. And it seems like Star Wars is releasing this regularly every year, celebrating May the 4th. The last one was Tales of Empire, came out May the 4th. This one, Tales of the Underworld, came out May the 4th. The first one actually came out October 26th, so they fucked that up. But that one was really good because it had young Count Dooku. It had, the dark side of the Force. It had Ahsoka Tano with her backstory, little baby Ahsoka Tano with the saber tooth. I enjoyed it. Oh, that one, wasn't quite as good. The Count Dooku one was pretty good. Now, Tales of the Empire. So I was like, oh, wait a minute. Did I ever watch Tales of the Empire? And I realized I didn't, so I had to go back and watch. Tales of the Empire featured Morgan Elsbeth, which was the villain in one of the Mandalorians, and then heavily featured in Ahsoka. So a lot of people was like, I don't give a shit about her. One that I did like was Barriss. One that I did give a shit about, but ended up hating what they did with it, was Barriss Offee. So these are a lot of Jedi that people are like, well, what happened? What happened to Barriss Offee? She bombed the Jedi Temple. She went against Ahsoka. She betrayed all of the Jedi. And you thought, oh, cool, she's going dark. Maybe in Ahsoka she'll come up in live action and we'll get a fucking nice-ass villain battle. Well, apparently we're not getting that because when the story came out for Barriss, they fucked it up. I hated it. Most people hated it. I'm sure there's a few people that thought it was good. I'll talk about what they did in it there. But what I'm saying is Tales of the Jedi started out good. Tales of the Empire slid. Tales of the Underworld, we'll see where does it end up. So, you should know that these are 15-minute little bits. And I did some digging and research. It's kind of where they have people check. I don't know if this is true, but some of the animators that are first-time animators getting into Star Wars that are going to move on and animate other things start here. Don't know if that's true. But I actually have praise towards the animation, towards the writing, towards the score, especially for the first one for Jedi. Now, Tales of the Jedi covers, the first one covers Cad Bane is the second story. The first story is Asajj Ventress. Yeah. And I thought it was action-packed. I like the fact that they brought back Asajj Ventress. And unlike what they did with Barriss Offee, I think that Asajj and her new... Trying to avoid spoilers. Asajj and her new alignment make more sense than Barriss Offee, or I'm just more open to it. And I'm happy that Asajj, who is this badass character, Clone Wars Joe that you refuse to watch, is back somewhere
this year.
Yeah, somewhere in here and
start this weekend.
Starting a new relationship. I think at this point, this whole Order 66, I know this is going to piss Alex off because there's yet more Jedi here. We find another kid named Lyko. So Order 66 at this point, I think, has been retconned. The whole line with Yoda being like, there is only, the other or this or that, I guess by that time there's far fewer. But in this time in the galaxy, I have to really, Star Wars wants you to readjust your alignment and your vision of what this is and say, yes, there used to be thousands and thousands of Jedi, and now they've been cut down to hundreds. So maybe there is a list of 37 surviving Jedi. And so far, if there's 37, so far we've gone through, 7, 8, 9. And I'm willing to accept some of that. And I'm willing to have some of the outside unknowns, especially if they're younger, lesser force sensitive, not fully trained. And that's what you have to accept here for the arc of Asajj Ventress. We got Asajj Ventress versus an Inquisitor. We get Asajj Ventress and her budding relationship with Tycho. And then finally, we get Lyco, not Tycho, and we get a sort of reuniting of Asajj Ventress and some bounty hunters. And one of these bounty hunters we saw in Clone Wars, I think, or was it Rebels? One of them. And so that arc I really enjoyed. I also really enjoyed the second arc, which was Cad Bane. Now, this one is a little more tropey. This one's definitely highly inspired by Westerns, which is kind of Cad Bane's character. Yeah. It took them 16 years to finally reveal the backstory of Cad Bane. I had assumed, it's in some comics somewhere, it's in some novels somewhere. No, this is the first time they've revealed his backstory. We know Cad Bane's end, if you've seen Book of the Boba Fett, which is probably you shouldn't see, but know that Cad Bane's story is wasted. Wasted, exactly. And we get to see that here. Though there is maybe, if they want to do anything with a Cad Bane type character, they did plant a small seed with a character named Isaac. So overall, I liked these. Now, you have to get used to the 15-minute format, but for 15 minutes, I think they pack in a lot of story, a lot of action. There's no filler. It gets straight to the point, and so I don't mind this particular thing just being a little appetizer, a little filling in the blanks, putting a little cock in the crevices, and of May the 4th be with you. So if every year they want to do 15-minute things and kind of fill in the stuff, if it's done at this level, I'll accept it. I don't think it's as good as Jedi, but it's definitely better than Empire, and I'll fill everybody in on Empire in the spoiler section. But I thought it was all right. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was fine for what it was. The first 3 episodes with Ventress, I thought it was going to be kind of like Omega and kind of babysitting with Lyca.
I thought they would cross Omega, but I don't want to do
this stuff either, though. Like,
right.
It's kind of like an escort. It's like, I got to escort this Jedi, Lyco. It's kind of weird.
Came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, didn't really like that character as much. Did like the action scenes, but it was a good watch for those 3. But then we get the Cad Bane one. That was I was more interested in that one. I liked a little bit of the backstory, the shootouts and stuff, and just some more lore. It was a good watch.
I actually kind of have a problem with the way they resurrect Asajj Ventress. I know this is Star Wars lore. I don't like it. And also, you're going to be like, huh? Joe must have been like, who? Huh? Why is she dead? Right now, the only way to know that is if you read the Star Wars novel Dark Disciple, which was one of those canon books that was, written, and then they're starting to do the new Star Wars stuff. It was written a long time ago. You get Quinlan Vos, you get that Jedi who survived Order 66, and they get her, which had this love story that they fell in love while Quinlan Vos was trying to assassinate Dooku or something, or the Emperor, I don't remember which one, and then somehow Asajj Ventress and him, have a love thing, and then they get separated, and she dies, and this is continuing that and explaining how she gets back in.
And Reva too, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Is that going to be the next one, Joe? Star Wars, Tale of the Dumb, Tale of the Inquisitors.
She survived, too.
I guess you could still do Tale of the Inquisitors. You could still do Tale of the Sith, because they did Tale of the Empire, even though Tales of the Empire is more like Tales of the Inquisitors and Sith. I'm just letting them know if they want to do this. I don't know if there's the plans. If they want to do this every May the 4th, they have those up there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are all right. If you're in the mood for low impact Saturday morning cartoon, that's what this is, right? And so, like, if you'd watch this over the like every morning, a couple weekends in a row, I think you're gonna have an okay time because the stories are solid, right? Like, it makes sense. I think one of the voice actors did an awful job, and it's completely Lyco. I don't think he did a good job. I don't know if it's like the volume of his mic or what, but like during his scenes, I actually stopped, went back, and going, "What the fuck is wrong? Like, it doesn't feel like it fits in here." So I don't know. Maybe it was my headphones, but it was distracting. But like that storyline was fine. I had no idea how Asajj Ventress died, and they didn't do a good job. It's like, oh, okay, we just get to come back. That's what we're doing now. We got
dead. Okay.
Oh, no one's ever dead because you just immediately come back, and then lightsabers aren't fatal, and so it's like, I don't know. This is at the point. This is like the Filoni-verse, and like I like the Filoni-verse less and less as time goes on. But I still think if you're really into Star Wars and you're really into Cad Bane and Asajj Ventress, I think you're gonna like it. If you're looking for something to have on in the background, this fits that too.
Yeah. I'm not really sure we need to introduce any new young kids like Lyko. I mean, we already have Ezra. I know he's older by the time we see him again in Ahsoka. We already have, Omega. I don't know what they're going to do with Omega. We already, we have these kind of other characters. I don't really know. It feels... No, I don't want to say pointless. If you live in the live action universe, then maybe it feels pointless. Because if you live in the animation universe, you're like, oh yeah, this is normal. This is introducing characters, or deepening the lore, and
it's
doing
marketing
this.
More for kids.
Can he exist? Yes, he can exist. It is more. It's basically, hey, getting your kids into Star Wars. There's stories to keep them going because we've been saturated. Now, our younger generations haven't been saturated. And I think this is a great and fine story for that. However, these stories are shorter than Rebels. They're shorter than Rebel episodes. They're shorter than Clone War episodes. I'd rather you go and watch Rebel episodes. I'd rather you go watch Clone Wars episodes. This is really just for the mega fans that are filling in the spaces. They're like, yeah, but what happened to that character? Or, yeah, but how is she back? Or, but yeah, is there anybody else that does this? And where did he come from? That fills in the blanks. But I like that shit. So I like this. And I think that the format is fine if they want to do the 15-minute. I'm not doing like, Disney, God damn it, you keep doing short things.
No, not on this one. Yeah,
not on this one. In this one, it makes sense. You're cool. Little side things. Keep it going. Now, the reason why I say is it potentially pointless, now, do you have in mind where Ventress' story is going? Do you have in mind where Lyko's story is going? Or does it not really matter? Because you're like, well, it's just a universe. Some weave in, some characters weave out, and we don't, so, I mean, you're going to have to weave out Osha and fucking...
May!
Is it May was the other one? Thinking, the power of one.
Power of two.
The power of many. So you have to weave them out unless you're going to do, oh, shit. Maybe Tales of the Stupid. Tales of
Is that power going to be...
New Republic.
That power needs to be used again.
What power?
When they're doing that again.
Oh, God. No, it doesn't.
Bring it back.
It doesn't need to be used again. Anyway, so I enjoyed it. I'm going to go with final verdicts. Go ahead.
6. It was a good watch. Wasn't too long. I did enjoy some of the battles.
I'll tell you what, let's, 6 overall.
Yes.
And then how would you rate first arc and second arc?
I don't know much about Ventress, so I would say 5 and 6.
Okay.
Do you have anything
6
else?
overall. Yeah.
6 overall. I'm gonna go 5 overall. It was on. It had a start, at middle, and end. I mean, and there's parts that I liked, but it's so short. There's no consequence to it. It's like it's cotton candy, right? Like I don't look back fondly on the cotton candy I just enjoyed for 45 minutes, and it's just like, okay, it happened.
Yeah.
I didn't, nothing was really accomplished for me. I did think I liked the Cad Bane a little bit better. I love the Western tropes. I love old Westerns. And so it was like slightly cooler, but I think overall I'm going to go with average 5.
It's interesting because I like Ventress as a character more than Cad Bane, so I kind of lean towards the Ventress, but I have to admit that I think that the Cad Bane done was well done and does achieve slightly higher scores than the Asajj Ventress one. Yeah. I'm going to go with, I wrote it down here, and I'll also give you a rating for Tales of the Empire. So Tales of the Underworld, 7 out of 10. Gave it a 7 out of 10. And I'll go through a really quick episode breakdown after here. But just to break you down, and I thought, so you already know what I thought of the first two. Tales of the Jedi, I gave an 8 out of 10, and the boys enjoyed it as well. Tales of the Empire, we never reviewed. It went under the radar. Again, I think they announced it. I just never dug into it. So I did, because I would have been excited to see Barriss Offee, and I'm like, oh, that's where they're going to introduce her, and then maybe I'll get to figure out if she shows up in Ahsoka Season 2. Nope. 4 out of 10. It's more like a 6 out of 10 for me, but what decision they make with Barriss Offee's character and how they end her, and she's over with, So you can tell what happens.
Everyone comes
4
back.
4 out of 10.
You can come back.
No. I think they're trying to move away from that, trying to correct that mistake. All right, so Barriss Offee. So that the mystery there was there. Well, it sucks. So basically she gets arrested, and then we never see her again. Well, she becomes an Inquisitor. So that makes sense that the Empire is able to manipulate her. So, she's in prison, and she already hates the Jedi. Very easy to manipulate her. She's an Inquisitor for one mission. Never mind. She's back to a Jedi. What the fuck? You take this great character that could be like this, confused character, or just a straight fall to a Sith. We don't really get that out in the open in Star Wars lore. Count Dooku did it, but a lot of his stuff was behind the scenes, and you never really got to see the big transformation. And whenever they show it, like in Tales of the Jedi, it's awesome. So I was expecting something similar here. No, like one mission, she's back to being a Jedi, and then she quits. Well, she can't be a Jedi, obviously. She betrayed them, so she becomes a monk, cuts her hair short. This is a fucking awful Tumblr, shitty haircut, and she looks like shit, and I hate it. And then she becomes a good guy. Yeah, Simple Jack. Yeah. Yes, with the buck teeth. Is that the Simple Jack with what's his name?
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller. Yes, she looks like Ben Stiller. I'm not joking. I'm like, what did you do? Why did you do this? Because she has a cool lightsaber. I was thinking about getting her. Was it her that had the cool one? I don't know. Her hilt is awesome. But they fumbled it hard. And basically, she joins the Inquisitor. There's this mean Inquisitor. It's the fourth sister. And we've actually seen the fourth sister in live action. You remember all the really bad-looking Inquisitors in Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Uncle Fester?
There's Uncle Fester. There's
Han.
It's the chick with the, she's not a Twi'lek, but she has like long, tentacle hair. You probably don't remember. Just look her up, fourth sister, and you can see a picture of her. So she has a live action version, and I was like, oh, maybe they'll be able to do something with this character in the future, and they might. That might be what they're setting this up as, because what they do is the Inquisitor is basically training her, and then they go to a planet. They're oppressing people. They're doing some fucked up shit, and this kid. Barriss Offee is using light tactics and trust me tactics like a Jedi, and the other Inquisitors like, don't know where the fuck are, and the Inquisitor, they're like, we don't know, and then the kid goes, we do know they're in the mountain because it trusted Barriss Offee, and then Barriss tells the Inquisitor, and the Inquisitor goes, you lied to me, and she closes it. It's a really cool scene. That's why I say 6 out of 10 if it didn't. She closes the thing, and it's probably as dark as Disney has gotten in animation. She just starts murdering everyone, and Barriss leaves, and she takes that kid with her, and she's just fucking slaughtering everybody, this fourth sister. Well, eventually Barriss Offee, as they go to the mountains to take care of the Jedi, they're fighting the Jedi, and then the Jedi's tries to talk her out of it, and it kind of fucks with her head, and then Barriss decides to take a stand after that guy dies because he was surrendering. She was like, surrender, we will arrest you, you'll be alive, and he's like, okay, and he's thinking about it, and then that's when the Inquisitor just fucking murders him in the back, and she's like, god damn it, and then they fight. So they fight, and then in the next episode, that's when they fight, and then she gets away. And then in the next episode, she's just this monk. It's years later, and it's what happens? What happens? The Inquisitor shows up to kill her, and she kills her. But the Inquisitor feels really bad, and it turns out that her sacrifice. I will fight you. I don't want to fight you. She's doing that monk thing where she doesn't want to fight. And it turns out that she kind of changes that Inquisitor's brain chemistry, and now it's implied that maybe she will stop being an Inquisitor. I don't know if she'll go try to find the path or try to be a Jedi, but she's going to stop. So she does defeat the fourth sister at some point, maybe. But again, they don't even give us that. They just kind of cut it short of that, but that's what's implied. So upon retelling it, it sounds better, but I just think it's executed poorly, and they wasted the character of Barriss Offee because she could have been used much better. She's dead now. All right.
Good.
So that's why it's 4 out of 10. So, okay, so now let's go real quickly. Tales of the Underworld, Episode 1. It was a shitty explanation of a resurrection. It brings up so many questions and problems with it. Yes, I know the Night Sisters have the power of resurrection. I just don't like that in the Star Wars universe, because then you just resurrect anybody and everybody. I get it. Only Night Sisters can do it.
Jinn?
She has to sacrifice something.
You can also be so mad that you refuse to die. You can also
Right.
just get stabbed by a lightsaber and not have it deal any damage to you. That happens a bunch of times.
Darth Maul, but he's technically a part of the
He
Night
didn't get
Sisters.
stabbed. He got sliced
in half.
Yeah, but he was so mad he refused to die, right?
Okay, yeah. But I just don't like this. I don't want to give the Night Sisters the power of resurrection, but they do. They have the power of resurrection. But we've never seen it to this degree where you just like come back and you're not a zombie. Like the Night Sisters can resurrect, but they're zombies. You know, I was like, all right, fine. But how is she not a zombie? Why have none of the Night Sisters done this in the past? And I don't get the stupid thing. Oh, you get to be. We're take away this. We sacrifice the thing that you want or something, right?
Your heart's desire.
Your heart's desire. What does that mean? So you never get to go and kiss your love, and you get to come back and get 2 lives?
Is it just kiss or the other things?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Are you not even allowed to talk? And it's so fucking
do other
stupid.
things that love.
It's stupid that she doesn't get resurrected and immediately go to Quinlan Voss. It doesn't make sense. Oh, is it because the prophecy? Like, what's going to happen if you go over there and you look at him, then you dissipate and you die? Like, what? It raises too many questions. It's stupid, and I don't like it. They should have done it in the other way where, oh, she wasn't dead. Her heart had stopped, but then the Jedi and Quinlan secretly, she wasn't fully dead, but they don't want people to know that she's still alive. Just something else. Because it just raises too many questions, and I don't like I like magic in Star Wars, magic with a K, but not at this degree, I guess.
Or force healing. That's too much.
We've seen the zombie stormtroopers before, but you come back as a zombie, why is Asajj Ventress so special? And it's because Dave Filoni. This is his character. It's his baby.
Yeah.
All right, so Jedi saved by Asajj Ventress. Asshole bitch gives them away. What was that?
Yeah, she's
boss.
working. Yeah, she's working there, and
yeah.
guy's like, "I need to get out of this planet." It's like, "It's not enough money." It's like, "It's enough money." It's like, "No, it's not." Then get the fuck out of here. And then
they get the fuck out of there.
Then
but then
the stormtroopers come in. He tells her to hide. He's like, "Oh, there's a bounty on this guy's head. If you see him." She calls him out. He's like, "Oh, he's right there."
Son of a bitch, kill
That's
kill
why she's
that
bitch.
Yeah. And it turns out that Quinlan Voss is the one to help establish the path. I don't know if it was Quinlan Voss that established. Yeah, I guess he did establish it. So later on, when we get to the video game,
Fallen Order.
Yeah, what's his name? What the fuck? Come on.
The redhead?
Yes.
The ginger guy?
Yes.
Oh.
Fuck!
Those games are all right.
Embarrassing.
Is it with the C? I know.
Yeah. Embarrassing.
Cassian Andor.
No, I'm thinking of Cassian Andor. Anyways, he follows the path later on. All right, anyway, in this episode, though, it's cool because the kid and her she fights the Inquisitor, and the action is badass. And I like Cassian? Cal. What the fuck? It was K-C, Cal. All right. And it has a cool last line. It ends. The kid is I like the kid. He fucking does 2 lightsabers. And that Inquisitor is dead, but the Inquisitor, is able to know that she's really aggressive. So he's like, "You're not a Jedi. I know you. You're Asajj Ventress," kind of thing. So I thought that was cool. 7 out of 10.
Final verdict for that one? Yeah, 7. I agree.
5.
Episode 2, the 2 argue. So they get in the, now we're doing friendship thing, and they go to a bounty hunter group, and we learn that the dude's name is Lyco. So I don't know whether Star Wars plans to do anything with this kid, or he's just weaving out and weave in and then weave out.
He can be gone forever. That's fine.
I don't care. Yeah. I don't want him to be, but it's not. That's why I was like, oh, I'll give you an extra point. It was like she helped the kid get on the fucking ship, right? And he's gone. But no, by the end, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the dude's name is Lyco. They steal an Imperial relay unit. The Mercs, they try to make a deal behind her back that they're going to go, the shield, the big circles. I know it's stupid that the shield generators are on top of a Star Destroyer. They're like the most vulnerable thing. But it comes from X-Wing, when you're making the strafing run. And I used to always blow those fucking shield generators up. That's how you make it vulnerable. Then you come in and you let your Y-Wings do the work. And it was awesome. But anyway, so they have this cool scene where the ball is rolling and they're breaking stuff, and it's more action, and it's cool. And then she gets betrayed. That droid shows up there. He kind of looks like Metropolis or whatever. Looks cool, and he's a bit of a badass. And
until he does his spin move, which is the dumbest thing in all 6 episodes.
But he's pretty accurate. I was like, what is he doing? Like very accurate. He's taking down ships.
We've seen that, I think, before Mandalorian, that they could do this wacky.
I guess that would work like in a smaller room, but this guy's
in a smaller room. But yeah, you'd have to have really good
there's
aim
like
for
ships and everything, and he just
that's a little too much. He does get shot up a little bit, but I thought he would have blown up, but he doesn't. No, it's more Asajj Ventress that gets him with the lightsaber. Or is it Lyco?
And it's fine. He's completely and totally fine. Yeah, Asajj chops him up, but he's all right.
They get the intel, and then and then she fights back. She fights her way back into the ship after they broke. And then fine, I'll give you this.
It's like, oh fuck, we failed the mission. Just keep the Jedi and kill her.
For sure, I trust you, kind of thing. I like this one. I like the action better, and as the two arguing, they're budding friendship. I'm going 8 out of 10.
I like the other one more. Probably 6 for this one.
Episode 3, finally, looking for the path. So this is where she's trying to get the boy to the Jedis, and they're on this desert planet. They desperately need water, and this is a kind of an old warrior thing. And I was like, oh, they're going to be running into clone troopers. No, it's old warrior, separatist warrior. So I was like, oh, that's cool. It makes sense that there would be grizzled veterans for the good guys, and there's going to be grizzled veterans for the bad guys. And then this guy's kind of one of those. His daughter is headstrong, and she tries to kill him and shoot these. But eventually they talk to them, and they figure out their thing, and he kind of has reverence for her as a warrior because Asajj Ventress were fighting on his side against Jedis and shit. And yeah, and then he's a Jedi? No, he's my friend, because he's like gonna.
You said friend. Now we're friends.
Yeah, so you get a little friendship there, and then eventually they find the path. These little creatures who had a conflict with the separatist grizzled veteran with the water. They resolve that conflict. It's fun. It's kid. It's about a da, and it's got a good moral of the story. They find the path. Bye. And then he leaves, and she's like, may the force be with you. And there's a little bit of emotion there, and then it turns out Lyco didn't go. Did he miss his ship? Did he want to stay with her?
Stay with his friend.
He wants to stay with his friend. But here's the thing. She's a full-on good guy here now, I guess. And you don't really get that yet unless you read Dark Disciple. You can't go from Asajj Ventress being this assassin. She did get some episodes where Dooku betrays her and tries to kill her. So okay, she's
she would still be
wild
evil.
card, but she's a wild card. I don't know if she's still evil. That evil has started to dissipate.
Yeah,
and
but
she's
not
a wild card.
But
much. Here she's like full on Jedi. She might as well be a Jedi.
Yeah.
But
you were
maybe in the
book,
Dark Disciple, the book that none of us read, maybe there's more of the transition, but that's the problem with this media, is when you have to do studying and homework for something.
That's a Filoniism, and I hate it. Because Lyco is going to be in one of his fucking movies.
It better not.
And we're going to have to remember, that's fucking Lyco from this one thing, and that's Clack Shitto, and he was a bartender one time, and it's he's super important.
Yeah.
It's stop it.
Yeah, I don't know. I looked at the voice actor for Lyco. I don't think he's going to be in a movie. Kind of whimsical. The whole episode's kind of whimsical. From killing Jedi into, helping kids into the path. But that's her transition. I liked it, though. Could we see? And then because he comes back, is this teasing at a series of Asajj Ventress and Lyco?
No.
Could I like it? I actually would like. I mean, I like that dynamic. Asajj, this kind of used to be a dark, used to be a Sith apprentice, used to be, and now a dark Jedi or a gray Jedi. I'd rather watch that in Lyco than that in Omega. So I don't hate it as much, but I'd rather them focus on other stories. And then, I don't know, but Quinlan Voss in the lore, I don't know if this was Legends, has this love called Colleen Hentz. And And does she exist in this universe, or is Asajj Ventress going to eventually find Quinlan and notice that he has a wife and kids, and it's going to be sad? And is it going to be Colleen Hence, or does she not exist in this universe, and this is their love, their thing, but then they have to stay separate the whole time? I don't know. 7 out of 10.
5 for me. He's not very likable.
Yeah, I actually did like they subverted my expectations where the grizzled war vet was from the Separatists. I think that was the cool part, but yeah, everything outside of that is like so much Lyco. Oh, I can talk to animals. It's like, shut up, Lyco.
I'm a Jedi.
I liked Lyco more than the guys. All right, episode 4. Cad Bane shown after these 2 kids basically. They're starting
street rats.
They're street rats, and Cad Bane. We don't know at this point, but we discover later on one of the kids is Cad Bane, and then some. Initially, I thought it was Cad Bane that was giving them some money and props for the thievery.
Me too.
I said, wait a minute, the voice is off. His color's slightly different. Yeah. I don't know who this is, but that's cool the way they play into it. This is Laszlo. Laszlo was his mentor kind of thing. And eventually the 2 kids help him and do this heist, and the 2 kids get split up in the chaos, and you get and then the
kid sees some death. I'm like, holy shit, you killed this guy.
Yeah.
It's like, let's get the fuck out of here.
And they knew that guy from the neighborhood. It's like crazy, man. You're like falling into this, and I like this.
This is a good one. I really like this one. For me, I liked it. I'm gonna go with an 8.
You get his share, kid.
Yeah, I was like, damn, he got caught. I was like, there you go.
7.
Yeah, 7 for me. Episode 5, Laszlo dies, and he dies off screen. Apparently, a lawman got him. I didn't like that part. I want to see Laszlo get taken out, but maybe it's trying to be more effective, like who the fuck did it, and these things happen, and you don't get to see it, and so that's part of the fucking trauma. But I don't know. And then we get the origin, and then we realize that the other kid turns out to be Cad Bane's friend, and Cad Bane's friend becomes a lawman, while Cad Bane becomes the famous outlaw. And we're going to have a confrontation between lawman and outlaw. It's coming to it, and it seems that his girl, that seems to have a girl that's fond of him, fond of Cad Bane, and I guess they're in a relationship, and eventually they must have had sex because they have a kid later on. But
terrible.
There's more, and then she's like, "Don't go. There's more at stake than you realize." She's pregnant, but she doesn't come out and say, "I'm pregnant." She didn't bother because it probably wouldn't have mattered because Cad Bane by this point, he's Cad Bane. He doesn't give a fuck, or maybe he does, but he's too far gone. So and then they have the confrontation. And Aaron
kills his partner.
Yeah. He kills the partner first, then he shows up, and they have a confrontation. But Aaron shows up, and she gets hit, and then
she had taken his gun away.
He gets killed.
He's like, "You traitor!"
Yeah, she takes his gun, and then he's arrested. And then, but then he gets out, and he's just coming. He's gonna show up in the next episode. But he's like, "I hope it was worth it," and he goes, "It will be." And then I love the music. The music is really great here. I love the Western stuff. High marks for everything. 8 out of 10.
7.
Episode 6 is basically the return. Cad Bane comes back. You get the confrontation between the 2. They're like, "Oh, you retreat. We get it. Sheriff, go ahead. Run. Be a coward." And he's like, "No, I can't. I'm going to do this." And then he dies.
The duel.
And Isaac is like, "Daddy, no," or he thinks it's his dad, but that's not his dad. And he says, "You took everything from me." And as he's dying, he says, "Not everything."
Not everything.
And then it breaks Cad Bane for 1 second, and he goes back to being Cad Bane. But it's cool. Shootout, good music. Isaac is Cad Bane's son. If they ever want to do something in the future, you could have a Isaac Bane, and he could be a good bounty hunter or a good Western trope thing if want to out for revenge. But he never gets his revenge. And maybe this character doesn't even have to become a mercenary or anything. Weave in, weave out. He's just a kid, and his father is never going to visit him.
Not a good one. Just do it for the money. How about that?
Or do it for the money.
Yeah.
$20 is $20.
Exactly.
Straight up.
Too much good.
Yeah, but Bane turned evil in his...
He doesn't have to be evil. He can just look, I'm just doing it for the money.
Too ruthless. All right, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I go with that.
7.
Cool. That's it, guys. So that is all of the Tales of series. I think they use this series as, a primer for new animated people getting their teeth cut, and then they move on to other full animated projects or other projects within the Star Wars universe. And as this, if we get one every May the 4th, I'm for it, as you fill in some of the gaps in stories. I'm sure some stories are going to be better than others, but eventually you're going to run out of backstories, and you're going to need to go ahead and start playing around with new characters.
Or characters that we kind of forgot about, that, disappeared, like Finn and the other,
He's done.
Finn.
He's done.
What's the other character that disappeared? Benicio del Toro.
Roger Rabbit.
But see, these characters I don't give a shit about, and so I don't
Rose?
want Phasma's
Was it
backstory. Rose's conclusion. Nah, these are gonna be bad. The Tales Up series is gonna be turned into a dumpster
What happened
fire.
to Rose?
Like where quarterbacks go to die, like Cleveland Browns or something. Where stories go to
17 quarterbacks over there.
Anyways, that's it. So I just wanted to cover this one, and thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you guys on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys.